All right, we're back now. Now, I took the hat that I had broken off there, and I put some epoxy on there. I used the Dura-Oil Loctite 5-minute epoxy. I let it sit for a long time, and I went back, and I shaped it the hat like that. See? You can still see it some, but look at that. So much better. I'm not throwing the carving away. No, I'm I'm going to keep it. But now, I repaired that piece right there, and I took a little bit of a Moto tool and just sanded that off, just any excess glue off just right there. But I just won't go back and try to it's probably stronger now that it's got the glue on it, in other words. But anyway, that was a repair that I made. Now, I've had a lot of people ask me, they said, Gene, a lot of people edit their videos and they want to be professional and they want to be this and that. And why don't you, if you break a piece like that, why don't you go back and redo the video or cut out that piece or edit? Well, first of all, I don't edit my videos. I don't edit any of them. And you probably know why I don't edit them. Some of the mistakes I make and the stuff that goes on. But I want you to understand, and I want every carver out to understand, I don't care how long you've been carving. I don't care how good you are or whatever. It can be your fault. It can be the fault of the wood. It can be many things. But you can break pieces off. You can do stupid, stupid. It's not stupid things. You can do things that you don't, mistakes. That's what I was looking at. I'm sorry the word stupid came out. Mistakes. You can make mistakes on a wood carving. I can make them. I've been carving over 25 years, and I still make them. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. So that's why I don't edit anything. If you got a carver that is, everything's going to be perfect, well, it may be in a lot of ways. But to be honest with you, that's not what life is, or that's not what we are. We're not perfect in everything we do. We make mistakes. I remember when I first became an operator at the plant, and that was almost 40 years ago. I was doing some work and I made a mistake, and I asked an old operator, I said, "Well, buddy, I'm sorry, I just made a mistake." And he smiled and looked at me and he said, "Well, tell you what, son," he says, "you're not going to make a mistake if you're not doing anything." And I never forgot that. I learned that we all make mistakes. And I can tell you now, I've had carvings break. I've had them chip. I've had noses chipped off. I've had hat brims break. I've had all these type of things. And I'm going to show them to you. I'm not going to edit them out so that, you won't get all upset that, if he can do it, then I can't carve. No, that's how you learn. And you learn it in anything you do. In fact, I realize a lot of times, the times we really do make the mistakes is when we're so confident with something a lot of times. We really are. So I don't edit stuff for that reason. I want you to know that I make mistakes, that I do break things off, but you don't have to give up. You just go and repair them. That's all. You just repair them. And then you go back and you carve again. Because believe me, if there's anybody on this earth that don't make mistakes, then I don't want to meet them. Because I'm going to tell you something, I don't believe they're there. So anyway, let's get back to our carving. So that's just a little lesson in why I do not edit my videos. Because if I make a mistake, I want you to see it. So if one day you break a hat brim off, you can say, "Oh, well, I'll just glue it back on like Gene does, or I'll do this, or I'll start over, or whatever." It doesn't matter. But, you know, old Gene, he's been carving over 25 years, and he did it. So, you know, it can happen. So that's all. That's just the way things are. So, anyway, let's continue with our piece here. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say he's going to do it again. Get this part down a little bit more. And I could do it again. I mean, I can. This is probably, I told you, this is probably a lot stronger than it was to begin with. There was a crack right there, and I mean, and it just broke. And praise the Lord. That's what glue's for, folks. They wouldn't make glue if anybody didn't have to use it. So, that's... All right, we're kind of getting that hat down now. And let's kind of, I want to be careful back here where this is at, because this also I'm trying to get where the hair is. And when you do glue it back, try to get the excess glue off of it, all that you can, because you don't want to go back with your knife and dig into that glue, because it can dull your blade pretty good, in other words. So, that's all. All right. Getting kind of up underneath there. Yeah, I remember that old operator. He was good to me. Fortunately, the company didn't feel as well about that. They kind of... I remember one time I laughed. As I got older, the company came and said, "We want 0 accidents. 0 accidents." And I thought to myself, okay. There's no such thing as 0 accidents. Maybe that's what you're shooting for. But when you got thousands of people working in a plant, you're going to have an accident every once in a while. And so, you know, that's just a smoke screen, folks. 0 accidents. No such thing. I mean, it may be what you're shooting for, but a lot of that's politics, too, with those type of sayings and stuff. All right. Now, let's go ahead and come to the middle here and divide our shoes. Now, let's go ahead and make some cuts in the middle here. Dividing our shoes. There we go. Now we've got a lot to take off, even back over in here and stuff. Cut down like that. And cut down like that. Bring those shoes down. Like that, see that? Now let's see, let's put some clothes on him, okay? Let's do that, let's put some clothes on him. I guess we could put a coat on him, or there you want to. Let's just do this. Let me take a little bit more off in here. And as you can look from the side, that arm is way too thick. That is all going to have to be coming up right in there. You know, that's way too thick. And we want to cut down in here and make that. There we go. Now it's starting to take shape right there. Okay. I am enjoying in Texas right now beautiful weather. You'd never believe we'd... And folks, I want to tell you something. Last week, when we had that storm, that a lot of people, a lot of kids and everybody like that thought that was snow. But we didn't have snow down here. Now, I don't know. This is down here on the coast where I'm at. I'm not saying everywhere. We had ice. We had thick, thick ice. I know because it was in the back of my truck, the bed of my truck, and it was a sheet of ice is what it was. So it was very, very dangerous. And so it was a bad time. So my brother and I were talking the other day, and a lot of people, Houston was almost declared a disaster. I'm about 80 miles from Houston to the east of it because of this. And it was a very serious problem. People's houses were being flooded because they were their pipes broke in the ceiling. And I'm gonna say something here, and this is just my opinion, okay? Because this is my opinion. I don't understand. I'm old school, okay? I'm old school, so. But I have never in my life understood why in the world they put hot water heaters in the ceiling. Of all things, that just blows my mind. Maybe it's because they don't use as much piping or whatever. I don't know. But my hot water heater has always been in the garage. So if it ever busted, that it would just, it'd flood the garage, but that would be it. But I've never understood why they put them in the ceiling. Because if it busts or the pipes bust in the ceiling where the hot water heater is, then you're going to ruin your house. Or not your whole house, but ruin it. And I've just never, maybe somebody can explain that to me, why they do that. I just don't understand it. I really don't. And that's what a lot of people that I talked to happened. Their hot water heater pipes and all that stuff burst because they had lost electricity, and it got so cold in the house that it froze and burst their pipes. Now I've worked in those 40 years I worked out in the plant. Well, we had to winterize all kind of things and to make sure that they didn't burst, because we had water plants out there and we used to make our own water. I remember one time somebody messed up and didn't bleed the water, and the water plant, 28 valves busted in other words. It got so cold. But I just don't understand. I don't know why you would take a 40-gallon hot water heater and put it in the attic. It blows my mind that, it would be so easy for it to freeze or whatever and ruin the pipes. So I don't know that. And in defense of that, too, you could also say, my brother and I were talking the other day, maybe somebody can tell me why they put them in the attic. I don't know. My brother and I was saying the other day, now, we bought my mother's home is not the greatest thing in the world in the neighborhood and stuff, but it was really hard for us to understand in a lot of ways. And I'm not being critical of anybody, but several years ago we bought Mother a Generac generator that runs her whole house, and that was because she was so old and stuff. But to me, if I was buying a $400,000 or $500,000 home or more than that type home, if I was spending that much money, then I don't understand why I wouldn't spend $10,000 extra for a generator for safety, that, if something would happen to the electricity on some kind of that, it would run off natural gas and operate your house. This thing is fantastic. They are. And I just think that, if I was to invest that much money in a home, I would want a generator to run it. And I'm not being critical of anyone. I am not. Please don't misunderstand me, okay? Please. I'm just saying, I just feel that I would buy a generator to but I know Texas is not used to that cold and everything like that. But now that they're putting hot water heaters in the attic, believe me, I would do whatever I had to buy me a generator that would keep my heater going, or I would have, okay, I would have gas in my house somehow. My brother, believe it or not, he lost electricity for about a day. Now, I'm not saying this or that, but he turned the stove on in his house, and he doesn't have a real big house, but he turned the stove on in his house, and he said, you'd be surprised how much heat it generated, a gas stove to keep it. So if I ever buy another house, which I probably won't, I would not buy all electric. I would want a gas of some kind to help run or help keep some heat going or whatever. And I'm not being critical of anyone or anything like that. I'm just trying to be reasonable in this. But I still, to this day, cannot understand why anybody would put a hot water heater in the ceiling. I mean, that's a lot of water, and it just doesn't make any sense. So, but then maybe I am wrong and I don't make any sense. So I'm not being critical of people. I'm just going, why would you do that? And I'm not. It's not usually the people. It's the contractors do that. They put them in the attic all the time now in these new homes, and whenever they have weather that bad, and of course I'm sure they do it in the homes up north, but I'm sure that they're probably more insulated and stuff like that. Maintenance in that case. All right, let's get off of that. A lot of people go, well. One thing about my carving thing here, you'll keep up on the current events if you don't learn to carve. Oh, gosh. Oh, man. So, a lot of people go, well, why do you talk so much? Why you? Well, it's because I like to talk when I carve too. I mean, I like to discuss current events and stuff. I try not to get political or anything like that, but I just discuss it a little bit, laugh, because we're all that way. All right. We drew our little lines in the back, and you've seen me do this 100 times for our little arms back here. Let me tell you something, folks. If you can't make carving fun, then don't carve, please. Most of us that carve are not going to be professional carvers. And I've been carving for over 25 years. And I have had a lot of fun making little figures and stuff like that. And if you take it so serious that your life is just upset if you do anything wrong or a perfectionist or whatever, then it's best you don't even take it up, because if you don't have fun, then you can't. And that's why I say when I talk a lot of times like this, we're just having fun. And a lot of you have watched me do this 100 times of this, and I've had people go, well, why do you talk? I don't like it that you talk. Well, then don't watch me. That's my answer. I mean, I'm not trying to be wise or nothing, but I mean, maybe you'd find joy in watching somebody else. I mean, we're all different. Listen, there's a guy that I love. I love Kevin Coates. I do. I love his carvings. I love the way he carves. I love all those things. But Kevin don't say a thing. He just carves. And that's okay. I love him. But I do. And sometimes I talk about things that aren't related to carving. So, anyway, and people say, well, you just like to hear yourself talk? No, not necessarily. I've been doing this so long, I guess it's just come to a point where I feel that the people that are watching right now know me or have seen me. And like I told a lot of people a long time ago, I want to be the kind of guy that is like having morning coffee and carving. Doug Linker's a lot like that. Doug's very personal, likes to talk about things, and I think that's great. Because we need more than just to learn carving, folks. We need to have a good time doing it. We really do. And because most of us are not going to become professional carvers. All right, I'm just taking some of this off the back here. We're not going to become professional carvers. And so, have fun. Lord have mercy, have fun. This is not, if I don't carve something and it don't turn out right, I'm not going to jail for it. So, all right. All right, I'm going to draw a big tie here, each side. Draw a little tie down here. I'm going to have it come down a long way. Just going to kind of come on this side. And I'm going to come up here because the hand is right there. And I come straight, and then I come this way. And I come over here. And it's just a little tie he's wearing. Just something for decoration. If I take myself too serious, folks, then I don't want to do it no more. Like I told somebody, he said, you can make a lot of money doing that. You need to. I said, brother, let me tell you something. When this stuff becomes work, I have to do it, then I don't want to do it no more. And he could not understand that. But it's true with me. If it becomes work, if it becomes the all-obsession thing I have to do, then I'm not going to enjoy it anymore. So